Hello everybody, Sutapa Bose here, special educator. Hope all of you are inside the safety of home because that is the need of the hour currently. I am very happy to say that today's topic is a request based topic. This has been requested by the mother of a child with special need who happens to be my friend. She wanted me to share my views and opinions regarding this topic. Now today's topic is prompt and fading in special education and its effectiveness or importance. Now I would start with a few subtopics. Number one is what is prompt. Number two would be what are the different types of prompts. Number three would be what is fading. Number four, what are the different types of fading. And number five, the effectiveness of fading and prompt based therapy in special education. And number six would be, of course, how to go about it in our classes. Now what are prompts? Prompts are basically the help or the support or the assistance that we give to the child in our classes to extract that performance or the desired performance. Now there are several types of prompts. If you want to take a note of it, you can do it. Not necessarily in that order, but I have just written like this. Number one, physical prompt. Number two, visual prompts. Number three, gestural prompts. Number four, verbal prompts. And number five, sometimes a combination of prompts is required if the child is not being able to perform on one single kind of prompt. So number five is combination of prompts. Now under physical prompt, what we do is there are two subtypes. One is partial physical prompt, one is full physical prompt. Now these two are self-explanatory terms. You can understand that in full physical prompt you are giving a full assistance or support to the child physically, holding the child or holding from behind the child. If you want him to clap, if your instruction is clap hands or arms up or tap table, you can hold the child from behind and make him clap hands, arms up or tap table like this. So this is full physical prompt. Now partial physical prompt is not full physical, but whatever is required, that much. Maybe just physical touch is required, or maybe you are holding from the wrist to make him light. So this is partial physical prompt. And number two would be what are the gestural physical prompts. Gestural prompts are simple gestures like pointing, or if the child is looking at you, you can show with the eyes that there is the object like this. So child will pick up the prompt and perform his task. Number three would be visual prompts. Now in visual prompts, what happens is we make picture cards related to the performance of the child, whatever task related to the task of the child, whatever task you want him or her to perform. Maybe you want the child to go and do hand wash, so you make a picture card on washing hands or two hands and show him, and you are not verbally telling him anything, not physically holding him, you are just showing the card and the child will see it and go for a hand wash in the basin. Now the next is verbal prompts. Now I have seen in special education classes almost all the children need some kind of verbal prompts. Maybe the calling out of the name of the student is a kind of verbal prompt. So this is only when the child is very small and the first time they are coming to the special education classes, they definitely need verbal kinds of prompts. And for that you need to find out how much they require that kind of prompt. Now lastly, the fifth point, as I have said, that if the child is not being able to perform on one kind of prompt, you have to give a combination of prompt. Maybe physically you are holding the child, also verbally instructing him, helping him to do the task, whatever is given. Now coming to fading. What is fading? Fading is gradual reduction of prompts. We cannot keep the child dependent on prompts for a long time. Otherwise the child will become completely dependent on prompts. So we need to gradually reduce the prompt, and that is the process of fading. Fading has to be done slowly and cautiously, and with fading we can make the child travel from most dependent on prompts to least dependent on prompts. So that is a kind of journey in special education classes to make the child independent in performing tasks. Now in fading also we need to follow, we can follow three kinds of fading. If you want to note, you can see force fading, again not necessarily in this order: force fading, time fading, space fading. So in force fading, what happens is we gradually reduce the force. If you are holding the child totally from behind, you are holding the full hand, you gradually reduce, and maybe reduce from 5 fingers to reduce to 1 finger. Or if you are holding from behind, maybe slowly you reduce the whole body to just touching the shoulder. not hugging the full body but touching the shoulder. So this is the force, from gradual fading of force. Now next comes the space fading. How can you fade in space fading? This is increasing the space between you and the child. Maybe you start sitting little away from the child's table, slowly, not gradually. You cannot just slowly, not very fast. You cannot just sit one day, you sit beside the child, absolutely beside the child, and then you go 2 chairs away from him. No, that will not work. Maybe slowly you increase the space between you and the child. Maybe if you are holding the child from behind and making him do work, maybe from behind you come beside the child and make him perform. So that is gradual space fading of the child, of the task. Then comes the time fading. What is time fading? Time fading is very important and as well as easy also. You can do it. Make the child wait for your prompt longer. Like if you have instructed for the task and the child is about to perform, you just gradually increase the time of giving the prompt. You delay your prompt, and make the child wait for your prompt. Maybe before giving you the prompt, the child will start doing his task independently. At least he will initiate the work. So this again has to be done very slowly. This has to be a very slow process. You can't just immediately delay the time and increase the time and delay the prompt. So this has to be done very cautiously and very slowly. This has to be a gradual process. Again and again I am saying it might take a little longer. Sometimes the parents feel frustrated or demotivated. The child is being dependent. Don't rush with the fading process. Please be patient with the fading process, because I have seen when you rush through the fading process, sometimes the child actually springs back to the prompt dependency and to the initial level, and then you have to start your journey again. So don't hurry with the fading process. Be patient with it, and gradually definitely the child will work and the child will start doing his or her job independently. Now here I will give a tip for the parents when you do it at home, because do it at home. When you introduce a prompt, always plan for a fading. If you are planning to make him do a work with such kind of maybe a physical or a verbal or a combination of prompt, always think about how will you fade after the child learns to do it on prompt. How will you fade the prompt? When you fade, when you plan the fading also, then prompting therapy is very effective. It is. Don't think that it will never the child will become totally dependent on prompt. It doesn't happen that way. Slowly it will gradually. Then another tip number 2 would be regarding visual cues. I have seen that I do not recommend it in the home environment, because I have seen sometimes like it becomes difficult for the parents to carry the visual cue cards everywhere with the child and make him perform a task in the home. In tabletop or in the professional environment, it is applicable, it is feasible, but sometimes in home environment, in open environment, it is sometimes practically not so feasible. So you can do away with visual cues if possible. But having said that, if the child is not being able to perform in any of the other kind of under any of the other kind of prompts, you have to go for a visual cue, or it can be just another visual cue can be a step 2 of the child. Like if the child is already doing it on a verbal cue, to speed up the process, you can add a visual cue. But totally if you start a task with visual cues, I have seen that parents are facing difficulties at home. So with that I come to the end of this prompt based therapy video. Please apply it and let me know how useful it was, or how useful or how fast you were in doing that. Let me know what are the difficulties you are coming through, and I will definitely help you in that. Thank you. Take care. Bye.